He's always been useless, my stepmother announced at family dinner. Let's just take his room, her daughters agreed. I stayed silent. This morning they were all crying in the street. I never thought I'd be making a post like this, but I need to get this off my chest. What happened at dinner last night has me questioning everything about my living situation. Some background. I've been living in my childhood home to help take care of my dad after he had some health issues last year. My mom passed away 5 years ago and dad remarried 2 years back to Alice. She moved in with her 2 daughters, Violet, 21, and Zoe, 19. I stayed because dad needed help and honestly, this house means everything to me. Mom's garden is here, the roses she planted are still blooming every spring. Things were tense but manageable until last night. I was working late in my room when Alice called everyone for dinner. Nothing unusual there. We often eat late because of everyone's schedules. I grabbed my laptop since I was in the middle of something urgent for a client. Really? Work at the dinner table? Alice's tone had that familiar edge to it. I started to close my laptop, but Dad spoke up. Let him finish, Alice. The boy's handling important things. That's when it started. Alice put down her fork with this weird smile, the kind that never reaches the eyes. Important things? He's always been useless, Elijah. Sitting in his room all day, taking up space we could use better. The silence that followed was deafening. I kept my eyes on my screen, fingers frozen over the keyboard. Dad didn't say anything this time. Violet chimed in. Mom's right. Zoe and I share a room while he has that huge space all to himself. It's not fair. We could make it a study room for the girls, Zoe added, like I wasn't even there. They're in college. They need the space more. I stayed quiet, but my mind was racing. This wasn't just about my room, this was about something bigger. I could feel it. The way they were all looking at Dad, waiting for his reaction. He just pushed his food around his plate, avoiding everyone's eyes. Luke barely contributes, Alice continued, her voice dripping with fake concern. The girls and I do all the housework, the cooking, the cleaning. What do you do, Luke? Sit in your room playing with your computer. I wanted to point out that I pay for all the utilities, handle Dad's medical appointments, and maintain the entire house, including Mom's garden. But something held me back. Years of watching Mom handle difficult situations taught me that sometimes silence is your best weapon. We should discuss this as a family, Alice said, reaching for Dad's hand. The girls need their space to grow. Luke's an adult. He should understand. I finally looked up from my laptop. Met Alice's eyes directly. Said nothing. Just watched as her smile faltered slightly. After dinner, I heard them in the hallway. Alice and the girls, laughing about something. I went to get water and caught fragments of their conversation. Just a matter of time. Insurance policies. Needs to be handled carefully. This morning, I found Violet in my room, claiming she was looking for a phone charger. But I saw her closing my desk drawer quickly. When I checked later, my mom's old documents were slightly out of order, the ones about the house deed and her life insurance. I'm writing this from my car right now, parked a few blocks away. I need advice. Something's not right here. And I can't shake the feeling that last night's dinner was just the beginning. Dad's been more confused lately, more dependent on the medications Alice gives him. And now this sudden push to get me out of the house? My gut tells me to stay quiet, keep observing. Mom always said that people reveal their true intentions if you give them enough rope. But I'm worried about Dad. The way he just sat there, not defending me. That's not like him. Or maybe it is now, and I've been too busy working to notice how much has changed. I'm going to start documenting everything. Setting up cameras in the common areas might be next. Part of me feels paranoid for even thinking this way. But the other part remembers how Mom used to say, trust your instincts, Luke. They'll never lie to you. I have a call with a lawyer tomorrow. Just a consultation. Maybe I'm overreacting, but something about the way Alice smiled when she said useless. It wasn't just an insult. It felt like a first move in a game I didn't know we were playing. We'll update when I know more. Right now I need to get back before they notice I'm gone. The last thing I want is to give them any ammunition. But I'm not leaving. This was Mom's house too, and I made her a promise before she died. I intend to keep it. Update. First, thank you all for the support on my last post. Things have escalated, and I've discovered some disturbing information that makes me glad I started documenting everything. It started with a spilled cup of coffee. Alice knocked over her mug this morning while rushing to clean my dad's office. I offered to help, but she practically shoved me out of the room. That's when I noticed, she wasn't actually cleaning. She was searching for something. I waited until everyone left for the day. Dad had a doctor's appointment with Alice, and the girls were out. The office was different. Papers slightly out of place, cabinet drawers not fully closed. I started putting things back in order, and that's when I found them. Stuffed hastily behind the filing cabinet. Bank statements, loan applications, divorce papers. Not just one set, but 3. Alice had been married 4 times before my dad. Each marriage lasted between 2 and 3 years. Each time to men who had recently lost their wives. Each ending with the husband in severe debt or declaring bankruptcy. My hands were shaking as I read through everything. There were newspaper clippings too, carefully preserved. Obituaries of wealthy women, followed by wedding announcements months later. Alice's name appeared in all of them, though sometimes as Alexandra, or Alicia. I photographed everything, then put it back exactly as I found it. Years of organizing data files has taught me the importance of detail. As I was finishing, I heard voices outside. Violet and Zoe returning early. Mom says we need to move faster, Violet was saying. The old man's getting suspicious about his accounts. Did you get the papers from Luke's room? No, that idiot's always there. But Mom says once we get the refinancing done, it won't matter. He'll have to leave. I stayed perfectly still in the office, barely breathing. They passed by, still talking, but their voices faded. My mind was racing, connecting dots I should have seen weeks ago. Dad's confusion about his bank statements, the missing mail, the constant questions about his investment portfolio. All those times Alice insisted on helping him with financial decisions because he was still recovering. I made some calls, first to the bank. Turns out there's been multiple attempts to access Dad's accounts, all denied because they needed his in-person signature. Then to his doctor. They couldn't share details, but they confirmed his next appointment isn't until next month. So where did Alice take him today? I drove to all the nearby banks, found them at the third one. Through the window, I could see Alice hovering over Dad as he sat with a loan officer. I walked in casually, like I was there for my own business. The look on Alice's face when she saw me, I'll never forget it. Pure hatred, quickly masked with a smile. Luke, what a surprise. We're just helping your father organize his retirement planning. Dad looked confused. Luke, Alice said you were too busy to come. Never too busy for this, Dad. I sat down next to them. In fact, I've been really interested in learning more about the family finances, especially given your previous experience managing estates, Alice. All four of them. The loan officer looked between us, clearly sensing tension. Alice's hand tightened on Dad's shoulder. Perhaps we should continue this another time, she said quickly. Elijah isn't feeling well. I feel fine, Dad said. But Alice was already gathering the papers. I caught a glimpse of one refinancing documents for our house. The amount was twice its value. Back home, things are different now. The fake politeness is gone. Alice cornered me in the kitchen after Dad went to bed. You have no idea what you're dealing with, she hissed. Your father signed everything weeks ago, it's done. The only question is whether you leave on your own, or whether we make things difficult. I didn't respond, just pulled out my phone and played a recording of her conversation with the girls about the refinancing scheme. Her face went pale. That's illegal, she whispered. So is financial elder abuse, and identity theft, and whatever you've been doing to Dad's medication. She backed away, but not before I saw something dangerous flash in her eyes. You're just like your mother, always thinking you're so clever. That stopped me cold. What do you know about my mother? Alice just smiled and walked away. I'm typing this from my room, where I've added extra locks. The lawyer's coming tomorrow morning. But something about the way Alice mentioned my mom keeps nagging at me. I pulled out Mom's old medical records earlier. Started reading through her final hospital stay. Something's not adding up about her death. I have to go. I hear movement in the hallway, but I've copied everything important to a secure drive and sent backups to multiple people. Whatever happens next, there's going to be a paper trail. I'll update again when I can. If anything happens to me, well, let's just say Alice isn't the only one who knows how to plan ahead. Update 2. Things have gone from bad to worse, but I finally understand what's happening. It started when I found Dad's old pill organizer in the back of his bathroom cabinet. After my last post, I couldn't shake what Alice said about my mom. I spent the night reviewing Mom's medical records, looking for anything unusual. That's when Dad had one of his episodes, the confused spells that started shortly after Alice moved in. I heard him stumbling in the hallway at 3 a.m. Found him disoriented, barely able to stand. Alice appeared immediately, like she'd been waiting. See, she said to me. This is why he needs his medication adjusted. Good thing I'm here to help. Something about her tone made me check Dad's old pill organizer, the one Mom used before she died, the one Alice replaced with a better system. The labels were still there, clear instructions for each medication. I compared them to his current pills. They looked similar, almost identical, but not quite. I took samples from both organizers to a friend who knows about these things. The results came back this morning. The old pills matched Dad's prescriptions perfectly. The new ones, similar shape and color, but the dosages were all wrong. Some were completely different medications. I started digging deeper. Called every pharmacy within driving distance, found 3 where Alice had been filling prescriptions, each under a slightly different name. When I mentioned potential medication fraud, one pharmacist got very quiet. She asked me to hold, then came back with a senior staff member. Turns out they'd flagged some concerns months ago. Combinations that shouldn't be prescribed together. Dosages that seemed off. They'd tried calling Dad's doctor, but someone always intercepted the calls. Someone who claimed to be his home care nurse. While I was processing this, Violet made a mistake. She left her laptop open when she went to make coffee. Her browser was open to a search. Effects of mixing, medication name with alcohol. The same medication I'd found in Dad's new pills. I photographed everything, then started quietly replacing Dad's pills with the correct ones from his old prescription. Within days the changes were obvious. His confusion lifted. His hands stopped shaking. He started asking questions about the refinancing papers he'd signed. Alice noticed too. I caught her in Dad's bathroom yesterday, rifling through his medicine cabinet. She didn't see me watching. When she left I checked. She'd tried to switch the pills back, but I'd already hidden the real ones in my room. This morning, I heard her on the phone. He's building up a tolerance. We need to increase the dosage or find something stronger. No, it can't wait. The papers are already filed, but he's starting to remember things. I set up small cameras in the common areas last week. Yesterday, they caught Alice adding something to Dad's coffee when she thought no one was looking. I sent the footage to my lawyer. But here's what really chills me. Going through Mom's medical records again, I found something I'd missed. In the weeks before she died, she'd shown similar symptoms to Dad. Confusion, fatigue, hand tremors. The doctors called it early onset dementia. No one thought to check her medications. I found her old pill organizer too, tucked away in a box of her things. The pills are still there. I'm having them tested. Dad's in my room right now, fully lucid for the first time in months. I showed him the video of Alice tampering with his coffee, showed him the pharmacy records, the fake prescriptions, the refinancing documents she had him sign. Your mother, he said quietly. She tried to tell me something, right before. She said she'd found something important, but then she got sick and Luke, what if? He couldn't finish the sentence. He didn't have to. Alice is downstairs with the girls, probably planning their next move. They don't know we're up here, putting all the pieces together. Don't know about the cameras, the recordings, the evidence we've collected. Don't know that Dad's lawyer is coming tomorrow with a forensic accountant and a detective. But they know something's wrong. I heard Violet and Zoe arguing earlier. This wasn't supposed to take so long, Zoe hissed. Mom said it would be like the others. Shut up, Violet snapped. Do you want him to hear? It doesn't matter anymore, Zoe said. He's already figured it out. We need to. They went outside to finish the conversation. When they came back in, they started packing. Not obviously, just small things, valuables, documents. Like they're getting ready to run. I should be scared. Maybe I am. But mostly I'm angry. Angry that they hurt my dad. Angry that they might have hurt my mom. Angry at myself for not seeing it sooner. The detective's coming first thing tomorrow. Until then, Dad and I are staying locked in my room, monitoring everything through the cameras. I've sent copies of all evidence to multiple secure locations. If anything happens tonight. Wait. Someone's trying to get into the room. I can hear Alice outside the door, saying Dad needs his medicine. Dad's asleep on my bed, perfectly fine. I have to go. We'll update once the door handle is turning. I changed the locks, but somehow they have a key. I'm calling 911 right now. If anything happens, all the evidence is with my lawyer. Wish me luck, Reddit. I think we're about to find out what Alice does when her plans fall apart. Final update. It's over. Everything happened so fast last night, but I'll try to tell it in order. When I left off, Alice was trying to get into my room. What I didn't mention was that I'd already called not just 911, but also Detective Martinez, who'd been building a case based on the evidence I'd sent. She was actually parked down the street, waiting for a warrant to arrive. When Alice started trying to break in, that became probable cause. The moment Alice got the door open, she found herself face to face with 3 officers. The look on her face, it wasn't fear or surprise. It was recognition. Like she'd seen this scene before. You don't understand, she started, using that concerned voice I'd grown to hate. My husband is unwell and his son? Dad cut her off. Standing straight, looking more clear-headed than he had in months, he said, No, Alice, not this time. That's when Violet and Zoe made a break for it. They had bags packed, just like I'd suspected. But officers were already at every exit. As they were being cuffed, Zoe started crying. Mom said it would be easy. Like the others. The others turned out to be extensive. Detective Martinez had been investigating similar cases across 3 states. Wealthy widowers mysteriously becoming ill, signing over assets, draining accounts. Some survived. Some didn't. Like my mom. The evidence from Mom's old pills came back this morning. Traces of the same medications they found in Dad's tampered prescription. Alice had been practicing her technique for years. Mom wasn't her first victim, but she was one of the few who started figuring it out. That's why Alice had to act faster with her than the others. The search of the house revealed everything. Hidden documents, burner phones, a laptop with detailed notes on drug interactions and symptoms of various poisonings. They found a storage unit key that led to files on other victims. Alice kept trophies, documents, newspaper clippings, her own little hall of fame. But here's the part that really got to me. In Alice's bedside table they found Mom's journal. The last entry was dated 3 days before she died. Found proof. Meeting lawyer Tuesday? Have to protect Luke and Elijah. She never made it to Tuesday. Alice, Violet, and Zoe spent the night in jail. This morning, they were crying in the street as officers executed a search warrant on their cars. Zoe broke first, told them everything. Turned out she and Violet had done this before with their mom. They were willing participants, trained from teenagers to help isolate and manipulate victims. The district attorney is charging them with multiple felonies: attempted murder, fraud, identity theft, elder abuse, and reopening several accidental deaths including my mother's. The evidence is overwhelming. Alice's careful record keeping is going to bury her. Dad's in therapy now, processing everything. The doctors say he'll make a full recovery from the medications. He spends a lot of time in Mom's garden, taking care of her roses. Yesterday, he looked at me and said, "Your mother would be proud. She always said you saw things others missed." The house is quiet now, peaceful. We're going through old photos, remembering Mom, talking about things we've both kept inside too long. Dad admitted he rushed into marriage with Alice because he was lonely, afraid of aging alone. I told him he's never alone, he's got me. Remember that refinancing paperwork Alice had Dad sign? Turns out she forged his signature. The bank's fraud department caught it during routine verification. They'd been building their own case against her for weeks. Alice's previous victims' families have been contacting us. There are support groups, shared stories. Mom wasn't the only one who tried to fight back. She was just the first one whose son finished what she started. This morning, I had coffee with Dad in Mom's garden. The roses are blooming early this year. While we sat there, a package arrived. Mom's case files from the original investigation. Detective Martinez thinks we might find more evidence to help the other families get justice. Dad picked up one of Mom's journals and started reading aloud. "My boys are stronger than they know. Together, they'll figure it out. I just have to leave them enough breadcrumbs." She did, Mom. We followed them all the way home. To everyone who followed this story and offered support, thank you. To anyone who's got that gut feeling that something's not right, trust it. Document everything. Build your case quietly. And never underestimate what someone will do to protect their family, whether they're alive to see it through or not. Dad's calling me, the detective's here with more files. Time to help other families get their justice too. After all, that's what Mom would have wanted. And Alice? She's learning that karma isn't just a Reddit thing. Her fellow inmates apparently don't take kindly to people who poison their parents for profit. Sometimes the best revenge isn't what you do to someone. It's making sure the whole world knows exactly who they are.